So many of you know about the RV challenge, the 10-question challenge that's been put out there. We met a great full-time RV channel, Lyf Uninterrupted, in Benton, Arizona. You'll see some of our trip to Benton, Arizona and Tombstone in a later episode. But first, we wanted to answer the 10 questions they challenged us with. And at the end, we will challenge somebody else. So, Anne, what is the first question?
The first question is, what would you change in your RV?
We'll take them. We'll both answer. So I'll answer first, just because you asked the question.
Yep.
I think we like our RV a lot, but obviously, once you're in it for a few months, which we've been, you always think of one thing that you'd want to change. I think just the shower size. Obviously, I'm tall and big, so there's stores dedicated to me, big and tall. So I think the shower, while it's not a sit-down shower, it's a traditional shower. It could be a little bit better, just for a little bit more arm room for soaping up and rinsing off for me. What about for you, Ann?
For me, it would be our sinks. Definitely the kitchen sink is it's much shorter than what I was used to in a residential house. So cleaning some of those larger pots and pans is a little bit of a challenge. You kind of get water all over the counter when you're cleaning.
I think some of that's also the sprayer, which we are changing in the next few days, thankfully.
But then we also have a sink in the back of the RV, in the master bedroom.
Master bath, yeah.
And that's a little small as well. And it's, again, you just have to kind of get used to it. But if there is something I could change, I think that would be it.
No, I think I'd agree with you. I think the basins of the sink are just a little too shallow.
Right.
For sure. Do you have any issues in the shower?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Mainly probably just shaving your legs. Though.
Yeah, it's, I used to have a nice step in our old shower. So now I make do with a nice little step up I bring into the shower, and that's what I use to shave my legs. So, but you just have to get used to it. It's nice we have a little skylight above the shower.
Which is good for me for my arm.
And for his head.
Yeah.
But, overall, I love the shower head. That's great. And, but it's really just the overall size, and if it could be a little bigger, that'd be great.
The second question is...
What is something you did not expect with your first RV?
Do you want to answer this one first?
Sure. I will say the water pressure level.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was something I never, after watching lots of videos from other people, I didn't expect water pressure being something that you had to test each time you got to a campsite. If you don't test it, it can wreak havoc. You can cause some major damage inside your coach if you don't know what the pressure is. Mm-hmm. So Andrew found some tools, and we'll show that on a
we'll have to do a video of setting up and breaking down at a campsite, because I think that could be worthwhile for people, especially that are just getting out on the road, and even some that have been on the road that just haven't thought of things. So overall, driving the coach, I do all the driving just by Anne's choice. And I'm not complaining. So it's not the same as driving a vehicle or a car. No matter how big of a truck you've ever driven, unless you've driven buses for a career or as a leisure time, this is difficult. It's different angles. You have to make sure your hip gets through the turn before you start turning, because you need to know your pivot spots on the coach. But mainly, cars that are out there on the highway and on the roads, they don't think twice about cutting in front of you. So you really have to be more aware of your surroundings and just really be going slow at all times, because someone will dart in front of you and you can't stop on a dime like you can in a regular vehicle.
Absolutely.
You've got, 20, 30,000 pounds depending on your RV or rig, and it doesn't stop that easy. Plus then we're towing the Jeep, which adds another 10, 12, 15 feet. It's a maneuver, and I definitely had some learning as we got along on the road. And
what was your deciding factor to buying your first RV?
I think just the freedom of going out and visiting friends and family, meeting new people, but getting to see a lot of different things. I know we've talked about this in a previous video where we gave you 10 facts about us, but the fact of, like, right now we've got these beautiful mountains in the background. We're out here in nature, beautiful in Arizona, and from here we're headed over to California, and just that freedom that,
Yeah.
you know, you can stay someplace for a good amount of time, and then when you're starting to feel like, oh, I've learned this area, or I've seen this area, and maybe I'll come back, but moving on to the next spot, and you know, seeing friends that you haven't seen in decades. We've already gone, and we'll talk about it on some of the videos, we've gone to certain areas particularly just to see friends we haven't seen in decades. I've seen family, cousins that are now, you know, last time I saw them they were 18, now they're married with 2 great kids.
Yep.
And you know, you can't get to every wedding, you can't get to every family event, so it's nice to be able to visit with friends and family. How about you?
I would say we took a long time to try and find the perfect RV, and yes, it's not out there. There's always going to be 1 or 2 things,
like the shower and the sink,
right, that you're not sure on. But for us, we thought we were going to be searching for another season, another 2 seasons.
Yeah.
But I was on RV Trader quite a bit, and the Newmar came up on there.
And we had kind of zeroed in on Newmar. Sorry to step on your feet, but we kind of had zeroed in on Newmar just based on from RV shows that we had visited, that was kind of had a lot of features that we liked.
Right, and that was the way we
especially
wanted to
for a new driver.
Right, and it had such great features, and we just decided that was kind of the way we're going to go. I had certain factors that I wanted in an RV, and if we could find them sooner, great, and that's what we did. It was on RV Trader back in July. And we moved quick. All of a sudden, within 2 weeks, we had our first RV. So it was nice. We found the right thing. It checked almost all of the boxes that we needed for full-time
Check
RVing.
the major ones.
Yes, it did.
Just to interrupt our questions, we're talking to you on our new lapel microphones so that you can hear us a little bit better. We went through their affiliate page, so go to their website, Lyf Uninterrupted. And you can get these same microphones, plugs right into your camera or your iPhone, and you can use their affiliate page because they deserve a shout out for that, I think.
For sure.
What's number 4?
4, what is your favorite meal to cook at the campsite?
Ooh, right now I think probably turkey burgers. I like when we make turkey burgers or when I make tacos. Getting out the griddle and maybe even pancakes.
See, this is going to be a hard question.
Hard
for my
one
husband.
for me, yeah. I think when I make you bacon and pancakes on the Blackstone griddle, I think that's one of my favorite things. When I get the chance to set up the Blackstone, cook breakfast in the morning, clean it off, and get ready for lunch or dinner, I think bacon and pancakes. I'll say that one.
My favorite.
Anything Ann cooks is my favorite.
Well, that isn't much in this household.
But I still love it.
Andrew's the cook in the family. Yes.
Please.
So my favorite meal, and I will say it's definitely feasible with RV life, if you have an Instapot, is tamales.
Oh.
So we get frozen tamales at Trader Joe's, and we love Trader Joe's.
Yes.
And we found a couple different varieties that Andrew can cook 1 to however many you want to put in the Instapot.
And frozen. You can cook them straight from frozen, right out of the freezer, which is nice.
And that's what makes it perfect, because it's a meal that you can have anytime, and it doesn't take very long to cook.
No. Once it gets to pressure, it's only like 12, 15 minutes. So it's nice.
That question might change in about 5 years or so, but for now, it is definitely frozen tamales.
Okay.
Next question. What is your must-see RV destination?
We've crossed off a few of our must-sees already in the short 3 months that we've been doing this.
Right.
I still think the Pacific Northwest is calling to me recently. I still think the Florida Keys. I think the going to Destin and seeing the Gulf of Mexico and the white sand beaches really makes me want to go down to the Florida Keys.
See, mine is different.
Okay, good.
Mine
I'm
is
glad.
West Coast. I'm going to go with Monterey.
All right, yeah, that's a good one.
It's an area I haven't been to before, and I'm definitely looking forward to that drive and staying in that area.
Well, lucky to you, we'll be there in a few months. Unfortunately for me,
Perfect.
It could be next winter. But that's good. Yeah, Monterey. I like that.
See, I get him thinking too. Let's see. Number 6, favorite thing about RVing.
Kind of touched upon it about why we did this is just getting out there. And getting into nature a little bit, which was not something was in my comfort level. As I said before, I wasn't a camper. I know, listening to Brian on Lyf Uninterrupted, that he grew up camping and stuff like that. I didn't. I was very much a city boy. I love just getting out in nature and seeing new things, and also going to a bunch of these like little tiny restaurants. I know we've been trying to feature those a little bit more on the episodes that are coming up. But just getting out and meeting new people, trying new things, and just kind of getting back to nature a little bit and just appreciating nature.
Yep. I would say my favorite thing is to open the door each morning, and
Open the
door and you're in a new place. And we've traveled to many different places, different seasons so far. So we've been in some warm places, cold. Nashville was a little cold, unexpectedly. But it's like Myrtle Beach.
But we got to see Coco, so that was good, and our great family.
We got to see Coco. But Myrtle Beach, I would say that blew me away. Is we would never usually be able to stay at a hotel or live at a house that was like steps away from the beach.
Number
7, least favorite thing about RVing.
You got to go first. I got to think about it.
Well, I will say my least favorite thing, especially with having a dog on board, is having a picky dog that decides the sand and gravel is not where he wants to go to the bathroom each day. So
he's a little finicky.
Any place that has a dog park always makes me happy, because usually that's when I can get him to go. But yeah, so for us, we could be anywhere, but with the puppy, it can be a little challenge. And it could just be more our breed of dog, being a Shih Tzu. They're usually a little pickier with where they want to go and do their biz.
I think for mine, it's kind of repeating a little bit, but I think the shower. I think that's my hardest problem. It's nothing that's really that bad. Everything is pretty good, but the shower is definitely one that I would. And just, some of my least favorite thing is the things that pop up that you're not expecting.
Right.
We had some issues that we'll talk about in a future video. That maintenance issues that, I couldn't control. It's not like I wasn't paying attention to them. And then you got to deal with it right away. And then sometimes it takes 20 days to deal with it. And it's like, okay, number 8.
All right. I'll go first with this one. Must have for your next RV.
Ooh, good question.
A bigger shower.
You stole mine.
I stole yours.
Yeah, you did. You did. For me, is that it? No expanding on it? Okay. For me...
What else can I expand on? I mean, a bigger shower is a bigger shower.
I think for our next RV, I would like to... We found this one. It's a little bigger than we wanted. I think I'd like to find one that's maybe 3 feet shorter instead of 40 feet, 37 feet. We have a bath and a half. The only time we use the half bath is when we're in motion, because it's the only one you can get to when the slides are in. I think I'd rather have a midship bath. In the future, I might want to look for just something a little smaller, but just barely, and that's just being nitpicky. I mean...
Yeah, we can go with 1 bath. We don't need 2.
Yeah, but don't break down on me. I'm happy.
I know. Yay!
I don't want the RV listening to me.
Number 9. Favorite adult beverage while camping?
This one I'll take first because it's easy for me. Pellegrino. Most of you don't know, this guy, Drew, does not drink. No
alcohol.
Never had alcohol in the 4+ decades that I've been around. No reason for it, just never had any interest in it. Say root beer. That way it looks like I'm having an adult beverage, and I'm not actually. So, and it's beer, right? It's root beer. Yeah, but that for me, that would be my favorite adult beverage, root beer.
So mine would be either Riesling or Moscato. Those are my 2 favorite drinks for adult beverages.
Wine.
A little wine. But I will also say we like to have tea, hot tea at night, especially when it's been cold. Is that an
adult beverage?
Well, it's not really an adult beverage.
Well, I guess you don't have it too much as
beverage
kids.
We love.
Yeah. Number 10.
Favorite indoor accessory?
Ooh, the Ram McNally is my favorite indoor accessory. The overdrive. I think I've said this before. Changing Lanes has a video about this, and we'll probably do one too, because anyone who hasn't subscribed to them should see it. It helps me when driving tremendously. Even that's my favorite indoor accessory.
Mine would have to be the containers I got for holding everything in place. Let me tell you, it is so nice to get to a camp spot and you open that mirror and usually you're like, oh man, what's gonna come flying out at me? And not anymore. I've got enough containers. It holds everything in place. It sounds like a weird favorite, but it really is.
Okay, so who are we challenging for the 10 RV questions?
And the answer is Nomadic in Nature.
They subscribed to us not too long ago, a little one of the earliest ones, and we appreciate that. So we want to know a little bit more about them, and we're going to give them the same 10 questions, which will be written in the description right below. So we will send you not only a message, but you'll see the questions listed below. And thanks everybody for watching. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe. I know you want to, so just push subscribe. And then if you're on a computer, push the bell for notifications. And we'd really appreciate a
thumbs up,
a like.
Give us a like.
Yes, absolutely.
On here, if you want any information about, we're more than happy to answer any questions for you.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
And thanks again to Lyf Uninterrupted.